Hey everyone, welcome back to room 237. Come at you with another movie review. And yesterday at 12 o'clock, I finally got to see, even though it came out yesterday, what people are hailing as the best 2019's best picture with the best actor. And I could not agree more. That is 2019's Todd Phillips, starring Joaquin Phoenix, Joker. It was phenomenal. It was absolutely great. Now, there are things that might turn people off who are comic book fans. This film is not based on any comic. It is not tied into any other cinematic universe or start its own. Will not be connected to any other film, past, present, or future in any way. Completely standalone. Just gotta pull that for a reason. And yeah, it's not based on any comic. It has elements of some that I think might have not even been intentional, except for there is some stuff taken from The Killing Joke, which Todd Phillips did say it was an inspiration. But it is more so inspired by the films of Martin Scorsese and Robert DeNiro, mainly Taxi Driver and King of Comedy, which is very obvious, but very, 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 very well done, with hints of maybe Raging Bull and Mean Streets. And above all, it's Elseworlds. For those that don't know what Elseworlds is, it's a comic line, which they don't call them this anymore, but where a character is taken out of his normal time and setting and done with something completely unrelated and original. This is pretty much a what-if story. This is a story about how, one man could potentially become someone like the Joker. I know other people are saying how they don't consider him Joker because he's so different and it's not connected to anything. But these are also the people that praise Jared Leto and say Joker can be interpreted so many different ways. There's no wrong way unless you like Heath Ledger. I loved this movie. And there will be spoilers at the end, but I'm going to give a very big spoiler warning. So if you haven't seen it, don't worry about it. But the second part of the video is going to be strictly for people who have seen it or don't give a shit. So yeah, it takes place in 1981. It follows a guy named Arthur Fleck, played by Joaquin Phoenix, who, and you can even get this from the trailer. He's a guy who just wants to spread laughter and joy as a clown. And life just keeps shitting on him. Society keeps shitting on him till eventually he cracks and turns to a life of crime and murder in Gotham City. And it's done splendidly. If you're a fan of psychological thrillers, then you'll like this. If you like character studies, you'll love this. If you're a fan of Taxi Driver, if you're a fan of Scorsese in general, because it even feels like a Scorsese film at times, but especially Taxi Driver, and movies like Taxi Driver, which they call the Man in the Room films, which is about a guy who's really depressed and lonely, has some sort of obsession, and goes increasingly more crazy as the film goes on. Taxi Driver, The Tenant, American Gigolo, 1 Hour Photo with Robin Williams. It's like that. And it has like that sleazy New York feel from the 70s and 80s. Like Taxi Driver. I'm going to keep saying Taxi Driver because it is like Taxi Driver. But it's not a ripoff. It's not a copycat. It's doing its own thing. It's like a comic book Joker version of Taxi Driver in its own respectful way. other sleazy movies like a Maniac, but it's not New York, it's still Gotham, but it has that sleazy New York feel from that time period. And it still is Gotham. It's not Tim Burton fantasy Gotham. It's not Christopher Nolan realistic Chicago Gotham. It's sleazy Gotham. It looks like it's Scorsese Gotham. There's like rundown buildings and little shops, coffee shops, back alleys. There's one point where I can't remember the name of the infamous street from the 70s in New York, but there's like porno theaters, really sleazeball porno theaters. And, it's just, as the film goes on, it's just, like in the trailer where he's dancing with the advertisement sign, kids take it, he chases them, then they hit him with it. That's in the beginning of the movie. As the film goes on, it's just increasingly more and more insane, depressing things happening to him until he finally snaps. I do like how there's no other references to the Batman universe other than it being in Gotham City. It's not Arkham Asylum, it's like Arkham State Hospital. So it is taking a bit of a Nolan approach. It's like if you take like sort of the realism of Nolan, only not that extreme, and the sort of realism and sort of sleaziness. I don't really say sleaziness, but also with like the authenticity of Scorsese. And the only other thing is you see the Waynes, which that's also in the trailer. That's the only connection. I mean, it's not like he doesn't go to a bank and the teller is named Edward Nygma, or he doesn't come across a law student named Harvey Dent. There's nothing like that. Although I do like Elseworld stories like that. This movie is very heavy and hard-hitting. It is kind of upsetting. I mean, I grew up with horror. I've seen horror across the board. I've seen, like, I would say even non-horror films like Requiem for a Dream is a bit heavier than this, is a bit more disturbing than this. It's on the same length as Taxi Driver, but, as far as just seeing one man's descent into madness, it is kind of hard to watch. There are some cringy moments. Like when you watch, say, The Office, and something embarrassing happens and it's just dead silent, it can be kind of cringy. Imagine, a depressing version of that. This movie's very nihilistic, which I think could turn some people off. Very bleak, very hopeless. But you're making a movie about the Joker, who's supposed to be like the most vile, evil, fictional character ever, at least in the comic book world, who exists for chaos. I would think nihilism would really be your only approach. At first, I thought people were kind of crazy for all the outrage and controversy this movie was causing when it was circulating through like film festivals and critic festivals and stuff like that. Because people were worried that it was going to make school shooters. It shows sympathy towards people with mental illness who might have the potential to go do something horrific. So some troubled kid may see it, be inspired by it and then go out and do shooting. Or it may even sympathize with people like James Holmes, who shot up the Aurora Theater, which this film did not premiere in, which I think is tasteful. It sympathizes with people like that. And I could see why that would piss people off or make people worried. especially with the very ending of the film, which I'm not going to spoil right now. But at the same time, it is just a movie. And I will say it is a powerful movie. I mean, when you look at Arthur Fleck's overall arc, from where he is in the beginning, what happens to him, what he does, and then what happens at the end, it is, it is heavy, it is hard-hitting, it is powerful. Probably not my place to say, but if someone's going to go shoot up a place, they already have underlying issues. I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm not worried about this movie in that aspect, but it was still pretty powerful to watch. And this has been a movie that I saw it yesterday afternoon, and I'm still thinking about it. Just a bunch of different aspects. Number one being Joaquin Phoenix's performance. I mean, this was, I think, like the first thing that was announced, because I think originally it was supposed to be Scorsese directing, DiCaprio starring. But then some other things happened, and then it landed on Todd Phillips to direct, and he kind of made his own version of it, which is essentially no comic book inspiration, except for Killing Joke, more so inspired by sleazy, man in the room films like Taxi Driver, which works perfectly. But Joaquin Phoenix is a guy who I'm not the biggest fan of him, not because I dislike him as an actor, just because I haven't really seen anything of his. I mean, I've seen movies like Walk the Line and Signs, which Signs I don't like. Walk the Line I do. I think he did phenomenal in that. I do know that he is a very devoted actor who really delves in and goes for his roles when he takes them on. He likes very quirky, odd, really experimental characters like this. And he hit this so out of the park. He fucking nailed this role so much. He's a guy that you just want to cry for during this movie. I mean, the little bits where he is happy or looks like he's enjoying himself are really uplifting. Like, it really pulls you out of the slump of just depression. When there are parts where he is smiling, he is having fun, he is excited about stuff. It is kind of uplifting, but they're very few and far between moments. Every time something bad happens to him, like, by the time you get, like, to the third act, just all this shit that's piling on top of this guy's life gets to the point where you're just like, oh my god, come on, life. Just, you feel bad for him anyway. And then it's just like, kind of makes you go, no wonder this guy's doing shit. And also, one thing I forgot to mention with the whole worrying about, potential, tragedies because of this movie. All the people part of the outrage culture, I don't know why they're mad at this movie, because the monsters of the film are rich white people. You think they'd be rooting for this movie. Yeah, anyway. It does have a very Occupy Wall Street, anti-Reagan, anti-Trump sort of vibe, which I don't like to see in my comic book movies, but again, this is not a comic book movie. And even then, like, Dark Knight Returns had a lot of anti-Reaganism in it. And yeah, Thomas Wayne is kind of portrayed like a Donald Trump character. It's not coming right out and saying, fuck these guys, but it does sort of have that Occupy kind of vibe. People in the slums versus the rich white people. It's not overly political. It's not really in your face, but it is there. I actually didn't notice it till I was talking to someone about it, and they brought it up, and I was like, oh, yeah, that kind of does make sense. The only negative things I can give it would be... The only negative thing I can give it would be the... It's not even really negative. The portrayal of Thomas Wayne. Without saying what he's like, I don't like it. That's not how I think of Thomas Wayne. However, it is an Elseworld story. They could have made Thomas Wayne a child abuser, and I would still accept it because I know this is not how it really is. It's just an alternate version, an alternate take. He's still Thomas Wayne. There's just things that I don't think they've ever done with him. Well, they have, but not really. When I get into spoilers, I'll talk about what I mean. But anyway, and this movie did a great job at looking like films from that period, making Gotham look like a believable, livable city, while also being... How do I want to word that? While also looking like an otherworldly film or place. Like you watch something like Harry Potter. Hogwarts, they made it look like a real place that people could go to and, believable, but also like a full, a fictional world, if that makes sense. Like Gotham didn't look like a movie city or portions of a city for a film. It looked like a real livable world that's different than ours. I don't know if that makes sense, but I could be explaining it wrong. And also, I did want to say one thing, because one thing that's been consistently shit on is Joaquin Phoenix's appearance, his makeup. Because even though it's not based on any comic whatsoever, and it's supposed to be completely different, I will say this book came out right around the time it went into production. Dark Prince Charming. Its makeup, it's very similar to Joaquin Phoenix's. I'm not saying they took it from Dark Prince Charming, but for people out there saying, there's no Joker. Joker would never look like that. It looks like John Wayne Gacy's Pogo, which it does. But, it was in a book. It was in a comic, and guess what? It's fucking Elseworlds. Well, it's not Elseworlds, but it's alternate Earth. So, yeah. There it is. So, yeah, that's probably my non-spoiler portion. I loved it. I cannot praise it enough. It deserves all the love and praise it's getting, and I'm sure will get. I know Rotten Tomatoes is being biased towards it. That's a whole other discussion. If these films are nominated at the very least at the Oscars or Golden Globes, it would deserve it. I would even put them in contenders for winners, because I don't know what else is going on out there with films. I don't really go to theaters or watch newer movies. I'm predicting best actor for sure, above all. Best picture, possibly best director. I'm giving those three. Maybe costume, and maybe screenplay. That's, I'm gonna say that. Definitely picture and actor. But other things I loved the score. It's this dark, ominous score that really, it's almost like it swallows you into the film, into this world. Really fits the mood and the vibe. Another Scorsese thing is the choice of real songs. That one fit the character of the Joker. Really happy, older recordings of kids' songs, like If You're Happy and You Know It, and stuff like that. That the way that they're juxtaposed to what you're seeing on the screen, is kind of creepy and really fits the imagery and feeling of Joker. But also the choice of real songs like Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. Hey, or like White Room by Cream. Just very like classic rock songs that really fit with what you're seeing on the screen. You know, Scorsese is known for that. If it had used Gimme Shelter by the Rolling Stones, I probably would have thought Scorsese had a hand in this. But yeah, I fucking love this movie. I would love to go see it again. It was phenomenal. And any movie solely based on Joker, this is exactly what I could have wanted. Or in Elseworlds take, like, this is the closest we've had to an Elseworlds film. And if it spawns either a trend of standalone of villain films, or, you know, superhero films that are Elseworlds, you know, like, this is an example, but like Gotham by Gaslight, where it's 1800s Gotham and Batman goes up against Jack the Ripper. Maybe nothing that extreme and different, but, you know, something like that. A trend of standalone films. One, I hope that happens. You know, if you take films like Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Shazam that just came out, standalone like that, like, they don't have to connect, but also to where, you know, it's just completely about them and also about villains. I would like that. Elseworlds, I mean, this showed Elseworlds can work. It was made for between $50 to $60 million, which is crazy cheap. So it doesn't have to be this $100 million Avengers film with effects and eye candy and popcorn and all this shit, and then be worried that, you know, it only made a couple million. I think last time I checked, it still made like 24 million. I'll check that right now. But it just came out yesterday, so it's already made 97 million, and it came out yesterday. So it's already made almost double than its smaller estimated budget. But yeah, I love it. I praise it. Some people are saying maybe Joker 2. I say leave it the fuck alone. Don't touch it. It's perfect the way it is. Go out and see it. Go in with an open mind. Go in knowing you're not going to get DC. You're not going to get DC's Joker. And this is the shirt I wore to the movies also. You're not getting DC's Joker. You're getting someone else's interpretation of the same character. Think of it more like Taxi Driver. Think of it more like a psychological thriller, not a comic book movie. If you go in with that, you'll really enjoy it. Trust me. But anyway, now I'm going to go into spoilers. So if you haven't seen it, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't watch anymore. Go out and experience it for yourself. But right now, spoilers. Okay, so yeah. I mean, I've already said most of what I wanted to say, but I'm sure there are things that people don't like. Like, you know, like from comic world aspects. Like, for example, Thomas Wayne kind of being a dick towards Arthur. But even though he's a dick towards Arthur, he's still very protective of Bruce. Like, don't touch my son again. Which, that was another thing that was in sort of the controversy, the what ifs. Like, oh, supposedly Joker is Thomas Wayne's son, half brother to Bruce, who'll become Batman. You know, that was a rumor. Some people hated it. Some people loved it. During a portion of the film, they made that the thing. But then later, the way they resolved it and made it so that's not true, I thought was well done. And just to go over the things that this guy goes through, I mean, he gets beat up pretty consistently. He has a mental condition to where he laughs uncontrollably, almost like a Tourette, which I thought was a very neat, unique idea. it was a way to take Joker's nonstop laughing, making him still have that before he does it just because he's insane, and give him sort of a realistic and sympathetic approach. Super, super close with his mother. Well, let's see if I can go in order. He loves his job as a clown, but he gets beat up for being a clown and for laughing. He's not taken seriously. His co-workers get him fired. He is super close with his mother. He finds out his dad isn't just, he didn't just run off or die. He's Thomas Wayne. Thomas Wayne wants nothing to do with him. He even punches him. Say, like, stay away from me, stay away from my son. Your mother she wasn't with us. She's delusional. So this woman that he thought the world of actually is mentally unstable and was locked up in Arkham for a period. A boyfriend she had when he was real young, we found out severely abused him. She let it happen because she was kind of choosing him over Arthur. And then, he tries to do stand-up comedy, but it goes terribly. There's a video of him that keeps being shown on this talk show that he loves with Robert De Niro, which I should have said this before. Spoilers, Robert De Niro did great. And I know the whole portion about the talk show reminds people of the David Endocrine portion of Dark Knight Returns. I can see that. Where, De Niro's talk show host character plays it and just makes fun of him. He calls him on as a guest just to make fun of him. And, just all this shit piling up. And just, no wonder this guy snapped. You really feel for him. And, like parts where he's laughing, we know it's like a Tourette. So when people are like, what are you laughing at? And getting all up in his face. If you watch Joaquin Phoenix, he's, it's like he's trying this. You can see him like frown, almost like he's scared or worried. Like, no, I'm sorry. But he just keeps laughing. So I looked over at my girlfriend and I was just like, he's trying to tell, like, he's laughing but acting like he doesn't want to act. Like he doesn't want to. He's laughing and fighting it at the same time. And the actor, Joaquin Phoenix, is, doing fantastic at it. Just, those are two hard things to do at the same time, I imagine. Laugh, but look like, you're embarrassed, you're worried, you're scared, you're trying not to. I really like his gradual, methodical descend into madness. I thought was great. Where by the end, by the time he's Joker, he's almost a completely different person. Like when he's at the talk show host and he's just so, like, confident. He even talks kind of differently. And, his whole speech about how I'm nobody. Because he killed 3 Wall Street kids and the whole city was upset and angry. And who is this monster? And he's like, if I were dead on the street, you would step over me. But since it's them, just really like wow stuff. And at the end, when the whole army of clowns like pull him out of the cop car and they're all like praising him and he's finally somebody, is really heavy, powerful stuff. And I guess I can see why people might be worried about kids in school who suffer from this shit finding an idol in it and going off to do something horrible. But to me, it's a movie first and foremost. You're so emotionally invested with this character that when something bad does happen, like when he's singing at the children's hospital in the cancer ward, he's doing If You're Happy and You Know It, and this pistol falls out of his pocket because it was given to him by one of his coworkers for protection. like walking through the streets, and of course, when that gun fell out, I was sitting in my seat, and I like shot right, like, oh no. Of course, he gets fired for it, and it's just a movie I still can't get out of my head with how good it was, and it is nihilistic and helpless, but it's a character study. If the thing about character studies is wherever the character goes, it doesn't have to have a Hollywood ending. And this guy became the Joker. There is not going to be a happy ending, at least not happy to us, maybe happy to him. I like the scenes where he's just dancing. He's just in his own world and dancing. Especially like someone mentioned how like in the trailer where he's dancing down the steps. It's almost like that's his final descent into madness, because after that scene, he's pretty much Joker. I agree with that. I like how they had that down in it, hey, down it. I liked that. I'm sure there are some comic book elitists who hate the fact that this clown, like, oppressed riot going after the enemy, who's like the rich white guy. Like, once I saw the marquee of Zorro and the Gay Blade, I looked at my girlfriend. I was just like, that movie theater's playing Zorro. I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to happen. The Waynes come out, there's a clown, and they kill him. I was surprised Warner Brothers let him do the pearls. I know they're picky about certain things. But they did. They even did the pearls. And I mean, this is Elseworlds. And if there's going to be a Joker somewhere down the line, there has to be a Batman. We don't need to see Batman. We don't need to see that. But it's implied that eventually these two are going to have their thing. And, in the context of this story, why not have it because of the Joker? In a way, it's like, yeah, Joker kind of did kill the Waynes, but it was still just a random guy. I actually liked it. I was like, oh, okay, so like what you say in Elseworlds, in this version, in this world, the inspired riots by the Joker and his words and beliefs got the Waynes killed. Young Bruce didn't have any lines. He just said his name was Bruce. So, I thought that was kind of neat. It didn't really give him any kind of character. But again, it didn't really need it. I mean, Alfred was kind of a dick to Arthur. Thomas Wayne definitely was. But they were both very protective of Bruce, which is still in character. And I just... and there's other things that remind me of like Taxi Driver, King of Comedy, like him sort of having a crush or wanting to date on this one girl who happens to be an African American girl, just like, oh god, why can I not remember her name? Robert De Niro was married to her. She was in both Taxi Driver and King of Comedy. But anyway, you have that, the whole comedy talk show like King of Comedy. Just the lonely, depressed, like, shitty apartment for a short period, kind of playing around with guns or his pistol. I thought it was so well made, well written, well executed, well acted, superbly acted. I would dare say this is probably the best DC film I've seen. And no, I don't mean comic book film. No, it's not. As far as comic book movies go, no, it's not Tim Burton's Batman. Hell, it's not even The Dark Knight. But they're all different. Tim Burton is very much a fantasy film. Dark Knight is like an action thriller. BVS is a very comic book action thriller. This is just a low-key psychological thriller character study. And those, out of everything I just said, those are more so my kind of movies. Those are, like, I like those the best. Psychological thrillers. It felt like a Scorsese film. What it took inspiration from, it honored very well. And it took one of the most ballsiest things you can do, make a solo Joker film that's an origin story, which people are just going to hate just because that alone. It exists, they just hate it. I mean, go on any Batman fan page on Facebook and nobody likes anything. I don't know why it's a fucking fan page. Try putting your opinion on that shit. But yeah, that's very ballsy. Give Joker an origin. But they were smart. They made it Elseworlds. No, this is not the real origin. It's fucking Elseworlds. It's okay to like it. It's okay, people. You can fucking like it. I thought it was fantastic. I fucking loved it. It was great in every sense of the word. I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but maybe when it comes out on DVD and I can really watch it and analyze it again, I might do a second review. But for now, this is it. I loved it. Last thing I can say is, compared to other Jokers, which he still is the Joker. He is. It's an Elseworlds version, but it's still the Joker. Because some people say you can't compare him. Well, yeah, you can, and I'm going to. He's infinitely better than Jared Leto, still. I would say performance-wise, I did like him better than Jack Nicholson. Calm down, stop typing. Hear me out. Jack Nicholson was a better Joker. Yes. But I just think for this type of film, the kind of performance he gave, for me personally, I thought the performance and the acting, I liked it more. Jack Nicholson was a better Joker. Ledger, I really don't know. They're at least tied. They're at least tied for best theatrical film, Hollywood film, Joker. And I'm talking live action, so no, you can't say Mark Hamill, even though I agree. Every time you compare Jokers, there's some wise ass saying Hamill, even though you're just like, Phoenix, Nicholson, Hamill. Yeah, well, live action, so no. Even though I agree. But anyway, that is my long-ass review for Joker. Well, I'm in spoilers now, so ones I'm seeing or watching. I hope you all enjoyed it. Try not to be too harsh in your trolling in the comments, because I like this film. It's a new film, so I know someone out there has got to hate it. Or, since I like it, someone commenting has to say the opposite. That's just how it goes, especially with DC films. But anyway, hope you all enjoyed it and enjoyed my review, and thank you for watching.